Okay, this is going on. No? Recording is going on, and there can be some online members as well. Right. Good morning. Then recording. This is our second lesson. No? Second lesson. Dates are here. Use two signatures for the same color. Online members need not to type now. They are recorded. Right. Then we discussed the first lesson as the introduction to management of the last day. At the end of the session, I did some revision questions as well. You to write the proper. I didn't. I asked you to remind me. Right. Okay. Then shall we write down those questions which are pending? No? Right. To cover the key areas, learning outcomes we considered in the previous lesson, I am going to give some questions, revision questions. These are not the assignments. The assignment was given no, separately, and it has two components. Two components. One is the quiz. The other one is the team assignment report. Yeah, I explained those guidelines as well. No, yes, on the last one. You know the teams. You have teams. That's the first day we met. No, then we have to form teams as well because this is a team assignment. Right after taking these questions down, we will try to form the teams. Right. At least we will identify leaders, team leaders. Then leaders can select the members to have roughly 5-member teams with online members as well. Or the online members can have their virtual team, no? Right. Yeah, can you hear me? How many members are there online? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Good morning. We can hear.
How many members are there online? How many members? I should know, no? Yeah, can you form after getting the questions? We will come to that point, right? Okay. Then write down the question number 1 for the previous lesson. Revision questions. These are revision questions. What do you mean by management? What do you? First question. It's a what type of question? What do you mean by management? Right. At the end, a question mark. What do you mean by management? Question mark. Within bracket, write down the marks guideline. That is for 5 marks. Then 5 to 6 lines should be used. Not only to give a definition. Giving a definition is not enough, no? As per the verb of the question. It asks what do you mean? With the definition, you have to little introduce about management, no? So you can give practical examples also to support the definition, right? Explanation, right? Right. Then second question, describe. Verb is describe, no? Describe the process of management. Describe the process of management with examples. At the end, full stop, not a question mark. Right, within bracket 10 marks. There are 10 marks allocated for this question. then definitely you have to produce the particular diagram also. No? Diagram. We had a diagram now to show that process based on the systems theory. Right. Then after that, you need not to write much. If a diagram can be provided, no, need not to write much in paras or text. But you have to write something, not only to produce the diagram. Then the question answer is incomplete. Right. The next one, explain the importance of management. Explain the importance of management for today's organizations. Today's why apostrophe comma is today's or contemporary modern. Today's organizations with a diagram. Here I say said with a diagram, no, because there are different ways to do this, but better use that diagram, no, to show the need of enhancing, increasing efficiency and effectiveness, no, as much as possible. We see the best management, right? For this also 10 marks, about 10 marks can be allocated. Here you have to explain, no, logically with the diagram. Right, then next question. Again, you have to explain. Explain how the importance of managerial skills. Explain how the importance of managerial skills varies or differs or varies, either one. With the levels of managers. With the levels of managers. Right, full stop. Explain, no? We started at explain, not as why, what, how. Then no question mark comes at the end, no? The full stop comes. Right, for this also 10 marks. Here also you have to provide a diagram, no? But I prefer you to provide not the bar chart we use, but that matrix we use using that ebook. That is more clear. That is clearly, more clearly stated. Then rectangular box in middle, you have to show the two parallel lines, right? To show the equal importance of human skills for all three levels of managers. Then automatically the other two areas, two sides would come naturally. Then it's a matter of considering three levels horizontally in the box. Then things will happen automatically. But you have to show name the diagram as what? As what? Ask from this question. Varying degree of managerial skills over managerial levels. Likewise, you can name that, but you have to do a small explanation as well. For this also 10 marks. You have to explain that logically. Right. Two more questions can be given at least. Right. Next question. Identify. That means you have to state or name, or you have to list down. Identify the 10 managerial roles. Identify the 10 managerial roles introduced by whom? Henry Winsberg. Introduced by Henry Winsberg. First of, for that also 10 marks, right? 1 mark for one role you state. But you can present them even under the 3 subheadings, no? 3 sets of roles. What are those 3 sets of roles? Interpersonal roles, informational roles, and the decision-making roles. First 2 had 3 each, no? The last one had 4. Then altogether 10 roles. Right, last one. We considered how to be a new manager also, no? In the modern business world. Right. I'll give a question to cover that as well. Right. Here, rather than asking to explain, here also we can say describe. Describe. There are different meanings, no, between these verbs. Explain, describe, discuss, evaluate. These are the question verbs. In any exam, you have to consider these things. No? You have to get the hint and the allocated marks. Then only you should think of organizing your contents of the answer and to present them. Then only you can score the maximum marks. No? You can manage time as well. Right. It is an art of writing. But before writing, you have to understand. Right. Describe. Describe how to be a successful manager. Describe how to be a successful manager. In the modern business world, no? It includes a modern workplace also, but I'll give the words as in the modern business world. That means within the 21st century. But use the particular 2 slides and the contents through diagrams or tables given there. Need not to reproduce them as it is, but try to borrow points appropriately and present yourself. You should be yourself, no? You cannot be another. Use your own style, but you can't forget the keywords of a subject, no? That's why you are trying to learn that, study that. But with the keywords, you should use more of your own words, to show yourself, no? In everywhere. You cannot be another one, no? Another one cannot be you, yourself. You are the only one, no? In the world, right? Nobody is there, not like you, with your name and with your figure, personality, right? But even you are different from your brothers and sisters, no? Right? That is the always. Right? Then always we have to present your personal identity. That's the starting point, no? To provide the answer for the last question. You have to present your individual identity. To show you can work independently first in a particular job, in a particular field with your particular expertise. Then you have to develop step by step your managerial identity, no? With the teamwork, with collaborations, and so on. Then there you should show you can work not only independently but interdependently as well. Then you have to compare the characteristics between the old workplace and the new workplace. To write further your answer in for the last question. Right. Those are the areas we can discuss, cover. Now, based on that foundation knowledge, we will move with the second lesson. No? What is that? As per the course outline, to understand how management theories or concepts or thinking thoughts evolved over time. Or in other words, we are going to understand the historical background of management. No? Management. Right, then I will share the handout, second handout for that purpose. Any questions? For the last one, how many marks you assume to be 10, about 10, yeah, 10 marks. Okay, online members also got the everything, no? But we shared physically here. Now we are going to discuss the second lesson, na? Evolution of management thinking. That's one folder. This one, no? SAP CS Sri Lanka. Yeah, evolution of management thinking or evolution of management thoughts or historical background of management. In different ways we can consider this one, this topic. It is a huge area, but we will try to summarize the things as much as possible to simplify the things. Right, then there are two learning outcomes involved in this. First one, before we know the evolution, we should know the major forces factors influencing the management thinking or practice. Based on the thinking, manager should practice. No, similar principles should be practiced. Right. First, we will know these major forces influencing from the environment, different aspects of the environment. The environment is our next topic. Yeah, we will discuss them more systematically. But here we will identify such major forces. Right. Then after that, we will describe how management perspectives evolve over time. Right. With a diagram. These are the three forces selected in this slide, but we should not limit our understanding only to these three forces. To think, as I mentioned, the full set would be discussed in the next lesson. The same can be considered here as well, right? The same knowledge, same explanation can be considered here as well. Therefore, though this slide gives social forces, economic forces, political forces as major forces influencing the change in need of management practices. There are some other forces we can consider. The number one is the global forces, globalization. Then technological forces. Then socio-cultural forces. We can add culture also, socio-cultural forces. Then economic forces. It can be considered next to the technological, next to the globalization, right? Then with politics, we should consider legal forces as well, no? Political and legal forces. But we can't forget about what? The dominant nature now played by the natural forces, or ecological natural forces, including global warming, has created a lot of unexpected issues, no, from that natural environment, no. We can't control. Sometimes we can control these forces, except that natural forces. We have to go under them as managers or as researchers or as decision makers or as general public. No, we have to respect the nature. Right. Therefore, can you do a small correction here to identify all those forces? But when we do environment, again, we have to consider them. There we will have brief explanations of them. Here we will identify those, right? Therefore, as the best order, you can write down this part in the said manner, no? Starting from the global forces. Global forces, then technological forces. In second, you can mention economic forces. Yeah. There's a good relationship between global economies and globalization. No? Global forces, economic forces, then technological forces, then socio-cultural. With a hyphen, you can mention that, no? Both together. Socio-cultural forces. Then political legal. With a hyphen, you can combine both to political legal forces, then natural forces. There are about 5, 6. Yeah, first one was said as global forces, then economic forces, then technological, not technical, technological forces. Then we combine this with cultural, socio-cultural forces. Then we combine this with legal as political legal forces. Last one is the natural forces. Actually, to match with this change in environment, that's how we define management also, no? In a change in environment. These are the environmental forces changing and influencing us to rethink of management theories or any theories and practices. Even to match with this, even natural scientists should do changes for their original theories, right? Then we are in the social science area. Definitely, they involve behavioral changes, compared to natural sciences. These are changing drastically, Therefore, we have to identify these mega trends or mega forces or environmental forces, determine us to deal with management practices differently over time. Right. Even then time also, I think all these forces affected, Anytime and is affected, but differently, different ways. Right. Now, globalization is the number one, even that might affect, or influence these forces. Not only the management thing, but to other environmental forces also affected by the globalization or the natural environment sometimes. Right. When we briefly explain about the globalization, you have to, remind you the due credit to our late Datasik Clark, who predicted, we would come to the global village. Now we have already come to that. We are now experiencing, dealing with it. Then all world can be considered as a single market or single village, Yeah, within a shorter period of time, information and other resources can be shared, globally. Right. Then with that, companies should be able to, managers should be able to think of standardize their products, services, and processes as much as possible, but not at the 100%. While they are focusing to standardizing, right? Considering the globe as a single market, right? They have to consider differences as well, market differences, cultural differences. Then, meantime, considering high standardization, they have to respect or do localization, local responsiveness also. Both should be balanced, right? That's how that part should be explained. Then we have to consider management also, with the universal nature as a science. But as I mentioned, there are changes in the global village, right? Especially cultural changes, value changes, and changes with these forces, right? Managers should do some changes also, in applying these universal principles. They should be done situation to match with the situation. Right. Right. Then with the globalization, I think now most economies are functioning as global market-based economies, no, or knowledge-based economies, right? Therefore, managers should be able to deal with these knowledge-based economies, no, to achieve their goals, broader goals. They have to develop people. They have to consider people as knowledgeable people. That's what we discussed in at the end of the last session also. Identify the nature of workforce. The diversity is very high. The employees are knowledgeable, right? They are not loyal always. Therefore, they should be empowered, no, with due competencies. Mere delegation, traditional delegation is not enough, right? Those would be discussed, no, when we look at the evolution of management theories, right? Right, then coming to the technological process, now we are in the modern digitalized technological era, no, digitalized, right? Then we need not to face physically always, no, whatever the task can be performed, no, with global, what is called modern technologies, no, virtually. Now, this class is also done in a hybrid way, partly physical, partly online, no, virtual, right? Therefore, we have to use these things, no, adopt these things, hybrid methods. The technologies are hybrid, no. Now hybrid vehicles are there, no. Hybrid fruits are there, vegetables are there. Hybrid paddy or rice is there. Right. Then how to consider socio-cultural forces? We have to consider values, no, values, beliefs, attitudes, mindsets of different people scattered in the globe. Right. Therefore, people have their motivation, ambitions. They engage in activities, no. They try to live. They try to develop relationships based on their values, values. They govern their behavior. It is commonly applied for managerial behavior as well, not only to the employee behavior or customers' behavior, consumer behavior. All are affected by the particular values shared by the particular community or the country or the region. Right. Therefore, managers, as I mentioned, should use these universal concepts to match with these values, particular values in the particular culture or the community or the particular group. Even one organization can be treated as one set of culture. Consider Toyota culture and Honda culture, or Nissan culture, or General Motor culture, or Ford Motor culture. All are in the same industry, but they are different in their values, no, focus, shared values. Right. That's how this socio-cultural forces should be understood, no, in order to present, do management practices differently, appropriately. Right. Likewise, political legal forces. Now, country to country, region to region, no, economy to economy, there are different political forces. Overall, I think mostly the world is having the neoliberal, no, neoliberal political forces or bases, no, neoliberal. But there are few socialist oriented countries like Cuba, Soviet Union. Now it is no more actually, no, it is also capitalist. Then China, North Korea, they have little their own focus, but they are also doing global capitalistic movements to sell their products to achieve global economies of scales, right? That's the homogeneity, right, in the world political and legal forces, right? There are international laws, no, regulations to sell products, to buy products, to use intellectual property, right? There are human rights issues, no? Sometimes they are used to gain power by the power holders. Right. Therefore, we see geopolitics. Always geopolitics are happening. Right. That is done not only with the government side, but through some multinational corporations, through NGOs to share the global wealth, no? Accumulate the global wealth. There's a very good competition, no? So we said people should be collaborative, but practically they are still having the competitive mindsets. Right. But we can't undermine the competition. No? There should be a certain level of competitive mindsets. When we look at the FIFA football games, no, that is there. It should be reasonable, reasonably present. In cricket, watching cricket, it should be there. That is accepted. Those are accepted. Right. Then I already explained about the impact of natural process that is very dominant, no, in any country now. Again, I think these days one earth, but it's a volcano has activated, no, in what island? But the island Hawaii, in Hawaii Island, right? Giant volcano activated, no. The lava would spread up to millions of acres. Then 2 million of people have been born, no? 200,000 or 2 million, I think. Then tsunami, earthquakes, floods, right? Then global warming is the number one, no? Determining all these, no? The changes and with the glacier shortage, right? Then we have to respect, protect the ozone layer. That's the umbrella above us to protect all us from the bad rays from sun, right? You have to think of reducing the carbon footprint, no, as much as possible. Even at our individual level, we have to think of. Then managers are considering, no, to present their source of CSR policies, no, to cover those requirements. There are summits, right, done, meetings done in worldwide to address these issues, environmental issues. Because of that, researchers and practitioners have been dealing with a lot of green practices, no, green practices, green management, green HRM, green marketing, those things, in order to respect the major forces coming from the natural environment. Right. In the annual report, they have to now present, no, as regulations, no, as requirements of international accounting standards, frameworks. They have to present how they deal with these corporate CSR policies, right? Then, as I mentioned before, you better, I think, read those things as some of our local big companies are doing. The good example is the annual report published by the 8 Conspiracy Group. It is a very good one, a well balanced one. Even our School of Computing School of University of Colombo won this time the best annual report representing the public sector organization. Yeah. They are also using these things now to present how they comply with these environmental forces in doing this business or in running programs, ICT programs. Unfortunately, we could not win that. Later we will try. Right. The management faculty, that should be the role model. Right. But it's a young faculty. Our Colombo management faculty is a young faculty. So far, we have achieved a lot in other means. We have to think of these aspects also, no? Right. We have a good corporate plan. Then based on that, cater to that, we have to think of preparing a good annual report, sound annual report also, no? Right. That's how these processes should be identified as the first learning outcome said, no? to identify major forces influencing organizations and management practices. What we practice, what managers practice, these principles, no, what we are going to now study, identify, note. Therefore, some people try to blame theories and models and principles, saying that those are useless. We should look at the practice. Yeah. Therefore, we need not to see the difference. No? We need not to separate principles from practices and vice versa. Theories, principles are developed based on the data gathered from the practice, no, and industries, right? But we should consider how to apply these principles, no, to match with the particular needed decision-making situation, right? That should be done. Or they should be practiced in line with the changes, no, happening in this environment. Yeah, we have to consider that only, no, without blaming theories, models, and trying to separate theories from practices and practices from theories. We need not to do that. It is time consuming only, right? Okay. Sometimes we try to, differentiate natural theories, no, theories in the natural sciences and the theories in social sciences. There's a good relationship between these two as well. Sometimes social theories might use natural theories in the natural sciences, no, right, to come up with new ideas, innovative ideas in social theories. Good example is the systems theory. Open system theory we are going to discuss has come from biology. Bertalanffy, that biologists only introduce the general system theory to biology. Then a similar way, we have identified that to match with the business systems. Therefore, people are trying to blame theories, models, try to differentiate them. No need of doing that. It is wasteless. We have to use them, as much as possible to improve performance. Right. Okay. I think I explain different things as well because these are important. No, sometimes we have to change our current attitudes, mindsets in a correct way to the correct path, with the correct path. Therefore, at least you would not do these things, no, later, no, in the correct path. Right. Then to achieve the second learning outcomes, to describe management perspectives evolve over time, we can use this diagram. No, we can base on this diagram, right? Then here the evolutions can be considered with the trends, historical evolution, right? Here we can divide that into two baskets, two groups. What are the two groups? Yeah, one way first we have to consider them as evolution as the relatively early historical trends. The other one, relatively recent historical trends. But sometimes these would go to this basket and new things come to this basket in future. That's the nature of the evolution. No? The past, present, future, three time horizons should be considered together. No? Right. These are not coming with a vacuum, from a vacuum, with a vacuum. Yes, sir. We have to consider history. That's why I think we should study history, world history, Sri Lankan history, management history, those things. It's a must. Not to be studied at the university level, but at the primary education. No, in the primary education they should be there. But in Sri Lankan syllabus, I think it is there. No, history is there. Now students are studying that. That's the most boring subject for them. No, for most of them. Right. It is very descriptive. Right. Sometimes we have to memorize things. Right. Then these are the two baskets we should consider in understanding historical development of or evolution of management thoughts with early historical trends and with recent historical trends. Right. Then we have to consider different theories, no, or perspectives or approaches in management or thinking or views with management to the two sides, two baskets. So what are the key perspectives going for the early historical trends? Classical perspective, then humanistic perspective, and quantitative perspective or management science perspective. These are considered as the early historical trends in management evolution. Right. Then what are the recent historical trends? System, starting from the system thinking, what I mentioned, referred. That's the start, system thinking. Then situational view or situational thinking of contingency view. Then these are new practices, philosophies, no, new methods introduced by researchers, no, total quality management, the technology-driven workplace, what we discussed in our previous lesson at the end of it, and open collaboration. We touched this also, collaboration. Right, these are new movements in the management, no, practices. Right. The knowledge came from the West, but the most of these practices started evolved from the East, especially from Japan. Now in Korea, China, they are doing this. Now Western organizations are also comparing these Eastern practices. Right, even Ford Motor, the Boeing company, of European companies, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Marks and Spencers, the many Italian Fiat. They are also now using the lean manufacturing, lean thinking, introduced by Toyota Motor Corporation, no, as a Japanese giant multinational corporation. Right. That's how now we should consider these early historical trends and recent historical trends. But in these early practices, recent practices, some early practices would continue, no? Continue. They have not been forgotten forever. What's one best example? Division of labor, no? Division of labor initiated in the classical perspective by F.W. Taylor, based due to the industrialization movement. Still, it is validly used, no? Highly used. Division of labor or task specialization is used. In future also it should be used, no, with the modern applications, no, modern technologies. Right. Because of that only there are different jobs, different professions, no, in the world or in an organization. So that is based on division of labor. And departmentalization is still there. Divisionalization, departmentalization. Then hierarchy is still there. Rules and regulations are still used. All these are the results or consequences of the classical perspective. Right. Okay, then one by one we will try to understand these principles in a summarized way. You are comfortable with this figure diagram? Yeah. Right, then we will first look at the classical perspective. In red color words, the key theories or key perspectives are highlighted, or key contributions for the classical perspective, right, are highlighted. What's the pioneered one? Scientific management, or principles in the scientific management introduced by F.W. Taylor. Taylor is considered as the father of management or scientific management. Father of scientific management. Who is the father of management? Henry Fayol, no? Henry Fayol. Right. Right. Then bureaucratic organizations. Who introduced this? Max Weber, a German sociologist. He is treated as the father of what? Father of bureaucratic theory. Then Henry Fayol comes in. He introduced a lot of things, including 14 universal principles of management, the management functions, planning, organizing, leading, controlling. He divided leading into two, staffing and coordinating. Right. Then Fayol is considered as the father of management, no, general management. Right. Right. Then that's the end of the key highlights given for the classical perspective. Right. Some textbook writers consider Taylor's perspective as a classical perspective. They try to locate these under neoclassical perspective. That is also there. Yeah, these are somewhat new ideas to put the foundation for the next perspective, humanistic perspective, right? But in this diagram, we consider all of them under the classical perspective. But when you read those things, you will come across with those different explanations. Then you will blame me. I have done a different things, but I wanted to remind that as well. Right. Then scientific management, bureaucratic theory or bureaucratic organizations, and the administrative principles. No, administrative principles can be taken as major principles used under the classical perspective. Right. Right. We will try to identify them first. Then after that, we will move to the next one, second perspective, humanistic. It also has different pillars. Right. Then Taylor, by profession, he was a mechanical engineer and owner of the factory that time, factory owner, not a management scholar, right? But he only introduced management thoughts at the very beginning, based on the industrial. These ideas have come from neoclassical economics ideas. Even Adam Smith only initially wrote about division of labor, no? In 1776 with his renowned book, The Wealth of Nations. Right. Then relating to the pin manufacturing industry, he explained, right, the importance of using division of labor to, increase the productivity, different time, multiple times. Right. Still it is considered, but based on these economist ideas, Taylor introduced scientific management. With the main focus is what? To enhance the worker productivity, worker efficiency. Right. The limitation is what? It undermines the importance of the behavioral factors of workers. Right. It mainly focused to get use workers as machines and tools. Right. That is one aspect. What is the aspect? Efficiency is only one aspect. There's another element to balance. Consider that is effectiveness. Right. Right. Those are the limitations of prevailing limitations of this scientific management. Right. It is one-handed, no? One-handed, single-handed. Right. But anyhow, if organization manager need to improve efficiency, definitely even today, they have to consider these principles, scientific management principles. They have to apply them. Right. What are the key scientific management principles? They say that managers or organizations should develop or should use standard methods, to enhance the performance of each job. They have to use standard methods. Right. Then they have to recruit and select workers, right, appropriately, based on their abilities or skills, right, to each job. Then after selecting, they should be trained using standard methods of training, maybe on the job training, right. Then the workers should be, supported or supervised to plan their work and to eliminate defects and interruptions, right. Right. Then to get the maximum output, the workers should be motivated, Why? But what is the main motivation factor used in this time? Money or wage salaries. It is a piecemeal salary, not time-based wage. Wages mean the payment is given, allowance is given for the given output, right? For the workers. Even today it is applied now, right? But today there are salary workers, no? More salary workers. During this time also the salary worker came, but later on, right? Yeah. Then the main focus of the scientific management is to develop a professional work, skill work, and to enhance the worker output at the maximum level. Yeah, one way it is required today, no, that embraces the efficiency, right? Right. That's how the tailors are scientific management and the key principles of it should be identified. No, main focus is to increase the efficiency, right? Then we have to consider the ideal principles of ideal bureaucratic organization, right? Introduced by Max Weber. For him, bureaucratic organizations are very rational organizations, no, rational entities using division of labor, no, with the clear authority and responsibility, right? Then organizational positions are layered from in a hierarchy from top to the lowest level, right? Following the chain of command principle. Then managers should use rules and regulations, no, to govern employee behavior, right? Then the managers are separated from owners of the business. Yeah, they are the agents appointed to run the organization to enhance the performance, right? Then all most administrative matters, actions, or decisions made should be recorded, no, for the future reference correspondence. Then, as mentioned in the scientific management, employees should be selected or promoted using their technical qualifications. Right. Even today, no, the similar things are considered by modern managers, no, to select people, employees, to promote them or to demote them. Right. Yeah, these are the principles of ideal bureaucratic organizations. It is not bad. They are not bad. Right. Then the next one, who contributed to this classical perspective or neoclassical perspective is the Henry Fayol, father of management. He's the one introduced these 14 universal principles to be practiced all over the world, organizations and managers in all over the world. Even today, I think most of these are all of these are practiced. Right. First one is similar to the what the former two said, no, division of labor or work specialization, right? Authority and responsibility, also mentioned by Max Weber. Discipline, the scientific management principles, bureaucratic principles, all considered, no, worker discipline. Asking us to respect rules and regulations introduced by the organization as standing plans. They are the standing plans. Then unity of command principle should be used, no? Whatever the time, subordinate should be able to report to only one boss. But there are some exceptions for this unity of command principle, no? Right. When you consider matrix type relationship, then dual authority, dual reporting happens simultaneously. The same worker may report to the normal boss as well as to another product manager or a team leader, right? Even we are having such situations, no, right? In the university, normally we should do undergraduate teaching, no? Then for that we have to report to the departmental head. But there are some other jobs like research, no, curriculum development. There are subcommittees. Sometimes we are the members of them. Then there are deadlines to complete tasks, right? Then we have to report to the particular convener of the subcommittee, horizontal. Therefore, always these principles cannot be practiced. There are some differences, no? Right, as required by the organization. All these are happening to satisfy the customers and stakeholders of the business. Right. They expect these things. Right. Then unity of direction. Then that's the opposite side, no? Opposite side to the unity of command. Similar activities in an organization should be grouped together under single manager. Right. One manager. Right. As the boss of the particular unit. That's why departments are there. Different departments are there. Yeah. Then while people, no, individual workers achieve their personal goals, they also should contribute to achieve the group goals, so organizational stated strategic goals. Right, that is the next principle. Then remuneration. The employees should be paid or given rewards fairly, equitably. Otherwise, they do comparison with the similar one in the same organization or in another organization in the industry. Norms are there to compare. That would affect their job satisfaction, commitment, and finally performance. Right. Then centralization. It's a senior managers, upper level managers, what is called style to make decisions. No, the centralization is followed by organizations to keep the most decision making power in the hands of the top managers. No, without delegating shifting that to the middle or lower level managers. Then opposite is the decentralization, where senior managers, top managers like delegating most of the decision making power to the middle managers and the lower level managers. Right, both should be balanced accordingly. Looking at the readiness of other managers and employees, to use their skills. Right. Then as scalar chain or scalar principle, the chain of authority should go from top to the bottom. Sometimes it is considered as chain of command or scalar chain, right? In any organization, it is there, no? In here also same, no? Right. There's a director, sub-director, no? Then registrar, no? They do the administration. In Sri Lanka, there's a president, no? Right. In your organization, mostly there can be a chairman or president, then managing director, CEO. In our university, vice chancellor is the top. In a school, the principal is the top. In a ministry, the secretary or the minister is the top. Right. In your family, father or mother is the top. Right. Right. Then next one is the order. Order. That is to, ensure the right, the particular resource at the right time and at the right place, in the right quantity, in the right quality, right? Then order should be used to well coordinate human resource and other resources, right? For that purpose, there's most organizations have its own organizational chart or structure, right? In organizing topic, we will discuss them, no? But I prefer you to, keep a very good recent annual report with you. That is not only for this subject, but for other subjects as well. Try to keep that. At least a PDF copy can be kept in your subject folder. You can get that freely, need not to waste even 1 minute. You go for the Google and search, type, things will come. Those are public documents. Right, then downloading, go through to understand how these principles are used by those organizations. Things are requirements are matched by those organizations. Right. Then stability of staff, equity. Then all rewards, treatment by managers to workers should be fair and equitable. but we don't expect no 100 fair treatment. There can be some discriminations, differences, right? That can happen. Right. Then stability of staff, no, that is to avoid unexpected turnover, labor turnover in a particular employee category. But in Sri Lankan governments, there's a typical ongoing problem to experience high labor turnover in machine operator level. What's the key reason for that? I think these managers have not developed a proper career path to these machine operators. No, even they are well paid, they are leaving. The reason is that they don't see a clear-cut career path and work-life balancing requirements. Right. Right. Next one is initiative. Initiative. That is similar to the work empowerment. Work empowerment. Workers, subordinates should have enough reasonable freedom, no, to use their own views, initiatives. It is highly essential now in order to foster entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship today. Right. Last one is the teamwork. Teamwork. It is mentioned as this Latin term, esprit de corps. That means the development of harmonized work efforts of workers. No? Teamwork. Foster teamwork. Not only the group work, but teamwork as well. With the team spirit and sense of belonging, love, fun, and so on. Right. Therefore, it is reasonable to say Henry Fayol as the father of management, no? To present all these, no? In those days, right? He might be, thinking all these would happen after decades and decades, right? Right. Then it is he was correct, no? In that sense, still we are considering these things in our workplaces, right? But his ideas are also considered under the classical ideas. Right. That's the way we should understand the classical perspective. Online members, did you hear these things and understood properly? Any other questions and any clarifications about the classical perspective in management? For that purpose, we considered scientific management, bureaucratic organizations, and the Henry Fayol's administrative principles. No, right? Any other questions? No. Right. The break time? No. Too early to have a break. No? Right. Then we will move to the next. We will jump to the next one as well to study the humanistic perspective. No, in a similar way, but with different contexts. Right. Then what's the emphasis of humanistic perspective compared to the classical emphasis of classical perspective? Yeah, then this could address the limitations, no, prevailing limitations of the former, right? That's the reason to come up with these ideas, no, humanistic ideas. Then this emphasizes the importance of understanding or treating human behavior and their needs and their attitudes, right? And their social interactions and processes, right? To be used at the group level. Then this was much backed by the sociology, insights of sociology as a behavioral science. The former might be guided by the psychology only, psychology, to consider individual behavior only. But when society or businesses evolve, no, it is not only a matter of using individual behavior, individual processes, but to more devoted to the group behavior, group interactions. Therefore, to address that part, highlighting the limitations of the former, these humanistic ideas emerge, no, over time. Yeah. Then we have to consider the early advocates' ideas to boom up this humanistic perspective. That's why these ideas are considered as early advocatory ideas. So the role of contribution of early advocates. Right. Then who are the early advocates for the humanistic perspective? Mary Parker Follett, based on which we had a definition on management also, no? Right. Right. She is one of the advocates. The another one is the most popular Chester Bernard, no? Chester Bernard. Right. Then they can be considered as the early contributors for the evolution of humanistic perspective. Then after that, we have to consider this movement, human relations movement. How that happened? What's the landmark for this movement, human relations movement? So that's the Hawthorne studies. Hawthorne studies, no, carried out in Chicago during this period in the particular Western Electric factory to identify what are the actual reasons behind the productivity improvement. Right. Then Elton Mayo and others were invited by the factory owners to carry out this series of Hawthorne studies. Right. Finally, they have come up with nice ideas as a Hawthorne legacy. Hawthorne legacy to study human behavior and to respect the employees, no, with these focuses of this humanistic perspective. Right. Then there is another movement approach in humanistic, that is called behavioral science approach, where the psychologists, classical psychologists, introduce the employee motivational theories. Motivational theories to understand motivation is not only happening with the financial resources, financial rewards. There are psychological and other upper level rewards influencing our motivation. No? It's a dynamic process. Then, in addition to those content theories of motivation, later process theorists introduce a process motivational theory. In the motivation topic, we will identify all these models, right? Systematically, right? Here we are noting them only. Then, under the behavioral aspect, the behavioral science approach, due to that, I think a lot of disciplines, new disciplines like human resource management, organizational behavior, those subjects evolve. Right. Right now, due to that, as a result, there's a new branch in organizational behavior as organizational development, OD. Right. Right. Then new scholars emerge, like Kurt Lewin. They use organizational psychology, organizational sociology, and organizational psychology to come up with these new models to reveal the importance of the human behavior. Right. All this happen with this evolution, evolution of the humanistic perspective. Right. Okay, then we not only then after a break we will try to describe them. Right. I also predicted the break. No, now this is the time. Right. Okay. Then we all will have a short break for about 10 to 15 minutes. Coming back, we will try to describe the noted points and the other perspectives. Right. Actually, since this is a BSc degree program, no, you better study all these appropriate. This is not mere BBA, no, the BSc as a Yapura management programs. The program should be more academic. More academic. That's better, no? Complete this straight away. You can go for the chartered, no? Chartered qualification also, no? Then you can actually study the case study. at the strategic level. Then try to, use these insights to argue there in the case study. Tea Sri Lanka tea is very tasty, no? It's a very good cue. Even cafeteria is good, no? The foods are very tasty, no? Quality, good quality for the price you pay. The management should know these things, no? Even these things can enhance the motivation, morale of workers, no, participants, right? Then our mind needs, no, needs these things automatically, no? Even that when you in your house, no, it is required. When you work, automatically your mind goes there. That's the human nature. All these have been considered by this humanistic perspective. Are these the digits used in the permanent registration number of you? Yes. Or later they may be changing. No, but that happened to another class. Then I rectified the identity because when I received the final CA mark sheet, Excel sheet from the office to allocate individual marks, then if the same number would not continue, then I can't allocate because I have not written your names here on my rough sheet. Then today we will verify that. Verify that. Arachchi is here. No. She went out. I thought she is not available today. Her number was written as 004. But in this sheet also that number is here. What's your number? Set for my sheet. 045. No, it is here. Then shall we check that in this list? You are Fonseca, but you have written it in your pen, no? But anyhow, if it is the case, I think these numbers will remain, no? In the final Excel sheet also. What's your number? 14. In mine, no? It has been typed. I think then no need of changing for this class. We can continue, but for myself, I'll write down your surname also, at least the surname.
Code is enough.
Code
is enough. They have assigned that code, no? 0, 40, 41.
Yeah, that's the one. Last digits.
Yes.
That's what I asked from you to write down here. But in a class, those numbers would change.
Yes.
In another batch.
Yes.
By the semester end, we have to, finalize the CA mark sheet and should send to the office. You are not getting those marks, CA marks? Continuous assessment marks can be, shared with the students. So they can be uploaded to the LMS. I don't know here the administrative practice. In our university, we do. But we have to, follow the particular procedures, no? Policies of the institution. We should form the teams, no? We have to form the teams without waiting, no? Then only you can proceed with knowing the team. By the 12th classroom day, you have to upload your final soft copy to the LMS. This is the second week, no? Yes. Then there are 10 more weeks. Two weeks already gone. Then shall we identify some leaders today? Yeah, otherwise we can't finalize this. Then leaders can find, no? Another 4 members from the class. For that purpose, you can use a WhatsApp technology, no? You have a WhatsApp group, no? There's a coordinator. Right. Through that, we will form teams. The same teams can be, assigned for other assignments also, even if those lecturers like. Ah. What's the class size here, total number of students? That is about 50, eh? 53. Yeah, then we have to identify about 10 leaders, eh? 10 leaders from the today's class. Then those leaders can be assigned from identify the other members, no? Through the WhatsApp technology. Otherwise, we can't do this, complete this. Then better to form one or two online teams, no? From their side. That is more reasonable, no? To have one or two online teams. I don't know how many members are there via Teams. Okay. Today is it only one member is logging? How many members are there? They will be having the break now, right? No, there are. The number two is the same. The one log with the number two is the same or different numbers, different members. Here, pin for me, right? Can online members use the surname to rename yourself? Are you there? Can you hear me? Then I can identify exactly the members, no? How many, I can know how many members are there.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Yeah, then can you use, if you know your registration number?
Yes, sir, it is 22.
Then can you rename with that?
Actually, sir, I log in with my own personal ID. I didn't use CA SAB login ID. If you need, I can use the
Then how many members are using this number two? Yeah, in the middle of the circles, in the middle of 4 circles, I see number two. Is it the same member? Now there are 5 members, no? Yeah, 5 members have used number two. That might be taken by the machine, no? I think software. The first digit of 2022 has been taken. Then can you on your mics? Need to identify. Can you all unmute your mic or on your mic?
Yes, sir. I'm KD.
Yeah, now I see two are there. 3,
Yes, I'm KD.
4.
Sir, my name is Dilo. Sandarwan.
Right, Sandalwan is there. Who else?
So my name is Dilipa Chandrakanti, number 19.
Dilipa is also there. Who else? Who else? Jayakirti? Or Dasanayaka? Sandul? Yeah, then it seems that there are members more than 5, no? There are members more than 5, I think. Then we thought of forming 5-member teams for this team assignment given for this subject to prepare the team concept book. Even from today, I think you should know your team, no? Otherwise, you can't start and continuing your assignment, no? To meet the deadline. Then can you also have 5-member teams? 5-member teams, but there should be a leader. Then here I feel 2 leaders should be identified from the virtual side. Any volunteers? Be a leader. The leader, you are going to be a leader. What's your name? What's your name?
Janaka.
Janaka.
Yes.
Janaka, then you will be a leader for the team of this assignment, right? Then can you identify another 4 members, right, coming via online?
Okay, sir.
Right, for your team. Then on the next day, please inform me. You can use your WhatsApp media.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. Then now after can you now even now itself can you find the other 4 members? Therefore, the other members should give the consent to be in this team, no, with you. Yeah. What's the feeling of other members? Would they like to work with you? Work with Janaka?
So I would like to work with Janaka.
Right. Another 2, number 2, is going there. Then
So I will also join this team.
KD is also going there. Then 2 more members needed. If I ask you to have only one,
So I would like to join with Janaka.
right. Another member? Another member? Likes going there. That's all. Yeah, then I feel that you can right now you can form only one team, no? Yeah, collect other members for your own team. But if 1 or 2 members are remaining, then I ask two of them, 1 or 2 of them also join here. Then your size would be little higher than the 5-member size. Otherwise, can't help, no. But later there can be more members, no, using this online platform. Then if so, I think we have to divide the team into 2. But for the time being, I feel that you can, no, Janaka can get around all members, no, log in here to have one team. We can call that team as the virtual team. No.
Okay.
Right. If there are more members, right? Coming later, then we can form another team, no, accordingly, right? Then if there are two teams, virtual team 1, virtual team 2, likewise we can identify them, right? Anyhow, now have all these in one team, right? Then try to follow the guidelines, read and follow the guidelines given in the course outline. First task, as I mentioned before, each of you should share the information, fact finding task on the 10 concepts. Even members can share the concepts, no? Assume that there are 5 members. One member can select, no, particularly 2 concepts to gather information. Even the same can type the things, but everybody should work together, no, to have a good flown report, no, concept book to finish that towards the end, right? Then in such a manner, I think these online members can proceed with the assignment, right? Then in the halfway of the lesson, even we better complete this one, no, otherwise time is going, right? No work happens, ne, for the assignment, right? Then as I did for the online people, members, shall we at least identify overall there are about 50 numbers, ne? Here 50 participants. Shall we identify now here about 8 leaders? Now your one is over for the time being, I think. Shall we identify some leaders here? Then as Janaka agreed, then the so-called leaders should identify the members, another 4 members, using your WhatsApp communication. Then at least by the next week, no, we can know about the completion of team formation. You can use numbers, no, not to duplicate team 1, team 2, likewise. Then in the team list, use name with initials, details as per this register, attendant register. You also, online members also can use the details with to show your name with initials and the registration number, right? Both should be there, right? There should be a team list next to the cover page of your assignment. That is to show the members' registration number, name, and the task completed by the member, no, for the report. Right. Then shall we identify some leaders? Balancing the gender also. Then when you find members, I try to balance the gender, right? But now trend is there are more female members, no, everywhere. That's the trend, no? There are more female members. Is it seen similarly in this class? Yes, no? Right. That's the world trend, no? Not only the trend here. Right. Any volunteers? Without wasting time, right? We should finish the balance part of the lesson and we should do a quiz also.
In one week.
Team 1 leader. Thanks for initiating that. Right. What's your name? Right. Then others also know, no? Then try to find some members even today or later, right? But those members cannot hold leadership again.
Already found.
Right. Right. Then one leader was appointed. Then another one. You. What's your name? Hemanta. Ivanta. Right. You also can identify another 4 members from this class. There can be some absent members also, as you know. Try to use WhatsApp to communicate. On the next day, please let me know who are the members in your team. Then third one is right. Then another one. Now we have 3 leaders. At least we should identify another 4 or 5. Other volunteers from both sides. Right. What's your name? Afrad. Can you find some other members, right? Then we have 4, no? 4 leaders now. 1 online. At least 3 other leaders. Or otherwise, on the next day also, we have to do the same. Or else, knowing these tasks, no basis, you have to communicate the other leaders as well as the team members. Any others? Right. You are also a leader. No? What's your name? Nirupama. Now we found 5 leaders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. A few more. I think 5 leaders are not enough as per the total attendance. No? If so, we have to form about 10 member teams. It is not feasible. No? If so, there can be more inactive members. Hello?
Yeah. So the team will give only one answer, one set.
No. This is only for the team assignment.
Okay.
Written report.
So it's a team assignment, not individual
Yeah.
one.
No. Individual one will be proceed. Will be taken individual. Yeah. Personally. We have to use the both evaluations, individual, team, both, right? But in the exam, you have to perform personally, yeah? No teamwork at all in the final exam, right? But before that, you can do teamwork to share your knowledge, then equip with yourself and use the answer personally, yeah? Independent, right? Then we have 5 here. Is that enough? But later, I think if remaining members, I think they have to do the same. Have a leader and members, some members, 4 members. And by the next day, I think most probably we will finish that. Then from the week after next, at least you should work for the team. You can divide the task of finding facts, sharing the concepts, right? Then you have to type them, right? Improve the flow, right? You can follow that textbook writing style. Follow that ebook to understand how to, present these text paras in an interconnected manner. So how to present an example, how to present a definition, how to present other principal explanations. No, you can know. When you read, I think you should not read only to get the knowledge, but while reading, you can think of how you also should improve those skills, writing skills, communication skills, presentation skills, right? Then you have to observe and learn. No? Use your eyes, not only the brains. All parts should be used by us with the connection. That's the message given by the system thinking, system perspective. Right. Right. Okay. Now, then we will continue the handout. We were here, no? You can see, I think the online members also can see similarly. Then we wanted to elaborate these early advocatory ideas. No? First one is the Mary Parker Follett, she defined management as an art of getting things done through others. It has not been mentioned here, but we can refer that also as one contribution of her. But she also emphasized on these concepts and practices like worker participation, shared goals, leadership, work empowerment, right, rather than only considering engineering techniques as in the classical perspective in scientific management, right? And the changes, she also, these concepts actually highly applicable in the today's changing environment, no? Especially the concepts like leadership, work empowerment, right? Shared goals or goal congruency, all results of the ideas initially introduced by female managerial scholar like Follett, right? By her name, I think some research awards are also given by Emerald Publisher, organizes the research awards. Mary Parker Follett Award. One staff member in our faculty also won that, right? Then next one is Chester Bernard, right? She was a practitioner, holding the executive vice president position at General Electric USA those days. He has written books as well. The popular book is titled as The Functions of the Executive, where he has written about most of these concepts like informal communication, informal groups, informal organization, formal organization, how to compare the two, work cliques, social grouping, theory of authority, right? All have been explained in these books, right? Still, these are highly remembered, right? Therefore, this is another early contribution for the evolution of management theories for the today's status, especially to improve the humanistic aspects, right? With these early advocatory ideas, I think then Elton Mayo and others might be using, organizing the Hawthorne studies under this human relations movement, right? Right. Then this evolved with the Hawthorne studies, carried out during this period, where the social conditioning, social factors, group like social conditioning, group norms, and interpersonal dynamics are also determining worker satisfaction and performance. But before that, then researchers, owners, managers knew only the physical conditions. Physical work conditions are determining the worker productivity. Still, they have the effect, but more than that, we have to consider human factors, which can moderate the final output of workers, right? Then due credit should go to the Hawthorne findings, for the evolution of the humanistic aspect and other behavioral sciences, behavioral disciplines. Right, then as another perspective, next to the human relations movement, in this humanistic perspective, we have to consider human resource perspective, where the role of these psychological theories should be much considered. Then this is the pioneered psychologist, American psychologist Abraham Maslow introduced the hierarchy, needs hierarchy of needs theory with 5 needs, commonly applicable to all of us. We will discuss these things with diagram in the motivation lesson later, coming under leading. Right. Then Douglas McGregor introduced XY theory. It is to present two ends of employee behaviors and the two types of assumptions of the managers. Right. Then under X theory, the manager should assume about the negative behavior, negative aspects of the worker behavior, as treating they are very lazy, they are less ambitious, they are dependent, right, on the manager, so supervisors. Therefore, if workers are displaying this type of characters, then managers should much supervise them, direct them, control them, right? Then opposite characters, positive characters are seen with the Y theory. Where workers are much delegated, empowered, no? They can work in their own way. They can make decisions also in their own way. Right. In every way, I think we can divide, no? Put workers into these two sides, X and Y, comparatively, no? Right. Therefore, Douglas MacGregor's XY theory gives the foundation for the leadership also, leader style also. Then what's the most appropriate leadership style for ex-workers? The authoritarian, autocratic leadership or command leadership. Then for Y workers, democratic or laissez-faire, no? Right. Democratic or laissez-faire or delegative. Right. All these were introduced during this period, no? Under the human resource perspective. Right. Then another one is the behavioral science approach, no? Right. Where not only the psychology, I think to present these theories, what matters? Psychology only. Psychology only. To consider the ideas presented in the behavioral sciences approach, not only psychology, that's the main role. That gave the main role. Even today, we can't forget about psychology at all. No, before we think group level, no, organizational level, national, international, we have to think the personal level. There should be a person in origin, in its origin, right? Then always psychology is there, right? Then, but there are other disciplines help this movement. Sociology, the blend of the two, social psychology is another discipline. Then anthropology, then contribution of other disciplines, social sciences like economics, even political science, history, right? Then quantitative techniques even should be used to analyze data about human behavior, human studies, right? All these as a whole help this behavioral science approach, where modern disciplines like human resource management, organizational behavior, organizational development, etc. Emerge. But these also reflect the ideas given by these early advocates, like Mary Parker Pollett, Chester Bernard, and so on. Right. They have initially identified these things based on their practices, experiences. But later, they were proved by these theories. Right. Then the last one, located under the early historical trends are the quantitative techniques, management science perspective. Even I mentioned that, to carry out research on human behavior in other issues, definitely those researchers should use quantitative techniques to analyze data and present data and to test their hypotheses, assumptions. Right. But now more and more qualitative research are carried out, study human behavior, study management issues as case studies, small case studies. Even a single organization can be considered as a case or individual. If it is a leadership, study about leadership, we have to take individual leader behavior, right? And follower behavior, how they interact with the followers. Right. Then we can't undermine the role of mathematics and other statistical methods, quantitative methods. Use now we are in the big data era. We are using big data applications, right? Artificial intelligence, those things are used, highly used. Right. But these are the subject areas, considered in quantitative or management science perspective. Operation research, OR is the short name. OM, operations management. Then IT, modern ICT. These two can consist of mathematics, basic mathematics, applied mathematics, statistics, and other quantitative techniques and topics. As examples, some major topics in OM, as you know, students should follow no forecasting methods, inventory modeling, linear programming, non-linear programming, string theory, scheduling, simulation, break-even analysis, those things are discussed, used in financial management, management accounting, and so on. No? Especially those are highly used in management accounting, but not in financial accounting. Then modern ICT packages are also used, no? Right, to estimate cost, to plan production, to manage different projects, to allocate or deploy resources, to schedule employees with Gantt charts and so on. Modern ICT can be used with histograms, bar charts, pie charts, used in Excel or SPSS, Excel. Right. That's the role of the quantitative techniques. These are not much new. These are old. These are old, somewhat old. These were highly used in the military, war era, to utilize resources, no? To, allocate the soldiers. Right. Even internet, I think, started with the military applications, no? With the military engagement, internet. Most management principles emerged, no, through the military management, through war, via war. Even Japan, Japanese standard because of the devastation had in Second World War. Right. Okay. Then in a similar way, but with the different contents, we have to identify the recent historical trends as well. Started with what? System, system view or systems theory or system thinking or system approach. Right. Then this is the diagram used to understand that. In a similar way, I think we noted the management process diagram also, no? On the last day. Right. Here inputs are taken as resources from the external environment. Output, they are converted through the throughput, including management process and other organizational transformation processes. Then outputs are going back to the environment, but to as other elements of the system diagram, we should know the environment, role of the environment, and the role of feedback. Feedback is to ensure things are happening accordingly. No? The information are concerned to have the good relationship with the external environment by the organization to ensure its survival and grow up. In explaining the importance of management, also I mentioned, not only growing, but first organization should ensure survival. Later, they should think of growing. Right? Both can be allowed. But not a circle like this. If you like, you can have some dot lines to see the organizational boundary to separate it with the external environment. It is called organizational boundary. Then inside is the internal environment. Outside is the external environment. But inputs are taken from the external environment through the boundary. Outputs are also moving to the external environment via boundary. Inside only throughput happens, no? Conversion happens with the subsystems. For that purpose, there should be subsystems in the organization. But before that, to deal with that, managers should have system thinking. We all should have the system thinking, no? Right. That's what we explained related to the conceptual skills of managers. Conceptual skills. Right. Then system is an interrelated parts. No, it has interrelated parts working as a whole entity to achieve the purpose or goals. Right. Subsystems are considered to do the throughput conversion. There can be different departments, no, in an organization. Right. Then through this system thinking, what managers and people should do, they should achieve the synergy, maximum results. Yeah, it is a greater than all is greater than sum of its parts. Right. I can give a small example. You know ropes, big rope. If we consider the rope with small thousands of pair, nothing can be done. No? That is similar to the parts, its parts, but we have to consider some collection of them to achieve the synergy. Then with that, we can do anything. No, we can control or handle giant ships, giant elephants. Lot of heavy tasks can be done. No, then that a small example can be considered to know the effect of synergy, effect of system thinking or collection, and the sum of the parts. Right, it is with the teamwork, no? Where what is we are using here the teamwork, power of teamwork. Right. Then all these ideas came from biology. Even our body, human body can be a system, biological system, open system. We get our resources, including the COVID pandemic virus and all, from the environment. For what purpose? For our survival and no, to grow up as organizations should do. Right. Then a tree does the same. No, it has a similar biological system. It gets resources, including air, water, fertilizer from the environment, no, through roots. Right. Then next recent historical thinking is the contingency view or situational view. Right. Then what's the assumption of the situation theory? It assumes each situation is unique, very typical, different. Then we have to consider universal principles, to be used based on the situation, to match with the situation. Therefore, each situation can be considered as a case, different case, Then this is what I mentioned, to consider a new thinking, we can't forget the old thinking, right? Then in below, we have to consider universal view, what we discuss in classical perspective in management. We have to consider. Still, there can be one way street, but we can't only use that. Therefore, we have to have a reflective view of to consider the case view, to consider different situations can bring different or new experiences, new knowledge. Right. With that old and new view, situational view, we should understand the emphasis of the contingency or situational view. Right. Then always organizational phenomena, right, can have logical patterns of relationship, right? Therefore, with that notion, we have to identify always similarities. What are similar, what are different, right? If similar things are happening again and again, then we, as managers, we can use the same techniques we use earlier to match with those similar situations, right? Then common problems can be responded with similar things. But whenever we are facing new circumstances, we should not use the same devices, again and again. We have to use a new one. Yeah, the contingency view is simple as that. It is not a new thing, It says how we should think and approach with our past knowledge, to deal with the new situations. Right. Therefore, if I further explain this, as per the contingency view, I mentioned, looking at the Douglas McGregor's XY theory, as a manager, you should identify the particular behavior of your workers, considering them as individuals, Right. One-to-one evaluation should be done as a boss. Then individual X can have the X type of or Y type of characters. Y can have the X type of characters. Then you have to use two different styles, leadership style, because they are different in the behavior. The first one is not ready, to follow what he or she likes. The second one likes doing that, no? Therefore, for the first one, you have to do more controlling, more directions as a boss. For the other one, you have to lose that, reduce that, right? That is one one good example from leadership. Know how to select and use the leadership style to match with the contingency view. Right. But when you meet the same, no, later, then you have to recall. This is to understand. X is that kind of person. But now he might be, he might develop his or her behavior from X to Y. Right. Then you should not use the same style you used earlier on him or her. Right. Then you have to use a different style. Then always you have to get information. You should get updates about people, about scenarios, no, time to time. Those are the things to be followed as per this continuous view. Yeah, these are not advanced, complex things, no. Right. These are simple, straightforward things. Right. Right. Then under the set buzzwords, no, TQM, technology-driven workplace, open collaborations. We can use these explanations, these buzzwords. Under the new technology-driven workplace, organizations have been using these practices, no? Customer relationship management, more outsourcing, supply chain management, or supply chain management, SCM, and so on. Right. No, I forgot to do this. First one was TQM, total quality management. The knowledge came from the West, and there were 5 major quality gurus, no, who wrote this knowledge theories. They were Edward Deming. Edward Deming, one American statistician. He is the father of quality management. Deming. There are other quality gurus. 3 of others are the Western quality gurus. No, one is not second to Deming. He was Juran. Then Crosby. Then Feigenbaum. There's another quality guru, Japanese quality guru. He is Kaoru Ishikawa. He converted all Western ideas to the Japanese way, introducing small group based quality control methods, quality control circle. He is the one pioneered in quality control, no? Right. Then later Toyota Motor Corporation introduced these things from 1950s. Right. That's the number one secret behind the current status of Japanese and Japanese organizations in the world. Nothing else but continual improvement of quality using modern technological applications. No, that is said as Kaizen in Japanese. And now all over the world, companies are using them in as lean management, lean practices. Right. Then internationally, there are total quality oriented frameworks shared by organizations and by nations. In America, what is happening? What is used by the American organization? Malcolm Bowrich model. In a similar way, our Sri Lankan Standard Institution has introduced Sri Lankan National Quality Award. It is the same as in the American model. Right. Then in Europe, European excellence model is using ISO framework. Even Sri Lankan organizations are getting this, no? Otherwise, they can't export their products to those countries, no? Yeah, it's a legal requirement, mandatory requirement. Then Six Sigma is another one, Six Sigma. Then to commemorate Deming's contribution, Japan introduced any organization in the world can apply for that Deming application prize or Deming prize. Right. Toyota has won in numerous times Deming prize. Right. Right. That's the role of TQM as a recent historical trend in management. It is never ending, no destination to improve quality as per TQM. If I give a small definition, TQM is improving quality of products, services, and processes of an organization continuously with everybody's involved, everybody's responsibility. That's how we should define. There are some TQM principles or different focuses. Leadership commitment is the number one key driver for any practice, including quality management, leadership, top leadership, and leadership should be developed in other levels also, middle and lower levels. Then customer focus is another main focus of TQM. Then employee focus, process improvement, information management, quality culture, measurement and feedback, global focus, supply relations, benchmarking, learning organization are key total quality management principles applied in any organization, any industry. Initially, these were introduced for the manufacturing sector. Now, similarly, these can be applied to the service sectors as well in any organization. Right. Then, under the technology-driven workplace, these buzzwords are happening. No, next to PQM, CRM, outsourcing, SCM. Right. Then this was already discussed in the previous lesson. No. Now companies and organizations, societies, people should do more collaborations. It is to achieve open collaborative innovations. This started from the software operating system development. No, as an example, Linux use this method collaboratively in open source projects to develop volunteers, no, and to complete achieve scales, large scales in their software products, right? But now, not only the software developing companies in any sectors, no, in any scale should use open collaborations, right? If you go for a McDonald's outlet, no, you can see that, no, they are not selling their own products, but they are selling other brands, other products also, no, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Elephant House Cola, or drinks, ice creams. You can use credit cards or smart cards, debit cards to buy products. Even now, you need not to visit those places. No, you can give a call, phone call. They will deliver those products to your doorstep. Pizza. Right. All these have happened because of the open collaborate efforts of businesses. Right. That is to one way to reduce cost and to satisfy customers and to reach customers, no, quickly, improve the delivery. Right. In supermarkets also, they are doing the same, no? They have collaborated. Even Kagis, supermarket, Kagis, millers, they buy vegetable foods directly from farmers, no? Right. One way it allows them to maintain the freshness of the products and to reduce cost. There are less middlemen, no? Middlemen. Then they can achieve those strategic aims to reduce cost, to differentiate product, to improve the quality, maintain the good freshness, and they have given a lot of attractive environments also. No, the more spaces they are to park our vehicles. No, right. Later they will introduce nurseries, kindergarten also. No, to keep our kids, your kids. In developed countries, those are also expected. They have to, ensure the safety, reliability also. Physical, environmental safety should be ensured. No? For that purpose, they can automate the operations, no, with CCTV cameras and so on. All these have been mentioned by these classical psychologists as different needs we try to achieve as a bundle. Physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, all are expected by us, no? Right, commonly. Right. Therefore, even today, no, if we use modern techniques, modern practice, we can't forget about the classical thinking. Classical thinking. We have to have them. Right. That's why we should study this topic evaluation of management thoughts. Right. We were able to finish this lengthy area in this manner, I think. Right. Otherwise, you have to use about days, weeks, over and over to study these things in yourself. But within a shorter period of time, we could share these things. Not perfectly, but significantly. Yeah. Right. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, we can finish our quiz also. No? We have enough time to go up to 12. Eh? Any other questions? If no questions, I'll give one question to describe things appropriately. You have to synthesize, summarize things accordingly. Yeah, but you better provide the diagram also we had at the beginning. Right, then I write down the question I give for this question, for this lesson. Online members also can write down. This is only an exercise, not an assignment. It's a revision question. But without writing, you can't improve the writing. You should do that. Right. It is a description, and you have described, not to explain. Describe how management theories and practices evolved. Describe how management theories and practices evolved over time with appropriate examples. Describe how management theories and practices evolved over time with appropriate examples. Right, these examples can be conceptual examples or practical examples. That's why I use the term appropriate. Right, to stop to that 20 marks. Then looking up now, 20 marks. Right, provide the diagram, no? With left on left, 2 bars left. Early historical things, recent historical things. Then on right, identify those logos. Classical perspective, humanistic perspective, quantitative. Then recent system perspective, continuous view. Then other products, technology, driven calculus, and collaborative. Then identify the main purpose of each and give some principles. But at the beginning, you better mention about those forces also. Remind about the forces, which are affecting time now. As to rethink and reuse these principles. Then to answer 20-mark question, you better use the 2 sides of a paper. 1 page or 2 pages. You provide a diagram also, at least half of page is required. And in balance 1.5, you can provide the explanation. Description, not the explanation, description. Okay, you can use numbers for bullets. Clearly state them. Or you can underline. Your exam ID is not against us. You can read the highlights for the exam. You can underline. Highlight. Don't put everything into a single chart. Presentation is also important. Not only the matters. Right. In this way, we will finish our discussion of this topic. Then we have, go back to the individual continuous assessment to get your personal learning points one by one to deal with today's quiz, classroom quiz. Classroom quizzes can be done in different ways. This is the way we are doing our quiz. We can use MCQs if you like. But this is better. Inform. This form. I think I have written, taken your numbers correctly, All these are similarly mentioned on these sheets as well as the last digits. But I better write down at least your family name here. Sometimes final Excel sheet would be provided with different registration numbers. So I will face a problem to identify that person. That happened to another class, right? Because students are coming here in different intakes, That's the reason, right? But for a university, all are selected from the UGC for the particular year. Right, then shall I follow this link, this order? Then you will answer randomly, Okay, that is better. We can save time. But some members can be absent today, Right? Then I have written 004 as the first one. Who's that? What's your name? Kaluarachchi. Shall I mention that as Kaluarachchi? Only one Kaluarachchi, in this class? Right, Kaluarachchi. Right, can you share your learning point? Yeah. Managing?
Trends, comprehensions in also situation is unique because there is kind of past experience we can't assume that you can also be like
Online members could not hear, Right. Your voice sound. But she wanted to share about the contingency view, contingency perspective in management under the recent historical trend. She said manager should consider each situation as a unique situation, looking at the similarities and dissimilarities. They should think of whether they should use the same thing or a different one, as a device. Right. That's the basis given by the contingency view. Right. Okay. But another can do the same, but the different, slightly different explanations. That is also allowed in this exercise. Right. Next one, 006. What's your name? Yesudasan. Yesuda. Right. Right. What's your answer?
Forces influencing organization and management practices. Political force. Sri Lanka is undergoing financial crisis. So nowadays, in the corporate level, lot of the employees are idle. They are not doing any work. It's of a serious reduction. So we are seeing their factory, backyard, they are cultivating vegetables and after cultivating harvesting those, they are selling at a reasonable price for them.
Right. Then this is happening because of to face the economic downturns.
Political forces.
Political. Yeah. Those have affected the organizations, the way they do things, businesses. Therefore, they can't occupy their people as they have been occupied. Now, as an option, these managers have been have asked workers to engage in other things like agricultural things. Even our Colombo Municipal Council has started that, no? Right. But we have to, achieve the productivity from these as well, no? Right. We have to continue these things, practices, as Japanese people do. Once they started, they never give up, no? They continue these things. Even in good times, they can do these things, no? Right. Right. Okay. Right. 184. What's your name? I can't hear. No, can you tell me only the last part? Huh? Same. Same. It is here, no? Same. Same. Right. What's your learning point? Yes.
McDonald's selling other products like even one company is selling one product like other companies also getting engaged in even what is open like hidden way even other companies also getting engaged with another company. So it's a good involvement by collaborating they engage and share their products with open customers with everyone.
Yeah. The main focus of open collaboration is to benefit, no? All businesses or payers mutually. And finally to delight the customers, no? Consumers. Right. And sometimes they do for sake of competition. Once they cannot bear the competition alone, then they try to collaborate each other. Right. 023. What's your name? That name is here, Pushpika. Don't tell the initials, name for the initial. Then I can't identify the initial, like P or something. Pushpika. Right. What's your answer?
Consider management perspectives over the period of time. We can divide it into two types, early historical trends and recent historical trends. Under early historical trends, we can identify classical perspective, humanistic perspective, and management science perspective. Classical perspective.
No, that's enough for you. Need not to elaborate. No? Another can do that. Right. Anyhow, this is the way we should at the outset. No, we should identify these concepts or evolution. Right. 157. What's your name? Nishan Sala. That is here, no? Right. What's your answer? Yes.
Administrative approach of payments.
Right. Thanks. Somebody does a research, not in this class. So then it is available. Right. Okay.
Payment approach is, I think, more suitable for the modern society because we consider about the diversity
principles for his approach, and it is more suitable for the current situation in the world. I think scientific approach is administration approach is more effectively than scientific approach.
Artistic. To deal with people successful, right? But both should be considered, no, accordingly.
Yes, the whole concept is he consider of the teamwork, and it is more important thing to current situations.
Right. 045. What's your name? Fonseca. Right. At the break, we discussed about this, no, right? With you. Right. What's your answer? Yeah.
The total organization digital with customers. And we discussed technical elements of the total quality management tool. The significant elements are employee involvement, customer focus, benchmarking, the continuous improvement of culture.
Leadership, those. 016 16. Absent. No member in that. Then I have to put a dot. 030 30. What's your name? Bandar. It is here, no? In the list. Bandar. Right. You are from Kandy? You are from Kandy? No. Nobody. Bandar is from Kandy.
Yeah, I would like to deal with the major process approaching that organization management and and that's government process, economic process, technological process, social process, and legal and political and natural process.
Right. These are time to time forcing the rethinking of management principles and practices. Right. 001. What's your name? Silva. D. Silva. There are different Silvas here. No. Right. What's your learning point? Yeah.
Historical time. There are 14 principles introduced by which also covers the scientific method, which was introduced by Taylor, and also the bureaucratic theory, which was introduced by Weber, which talks about division of labor and delegation of authority.
Right. You are not going to identify all 14, right? And remember. Right. 1014 14. What's your name? Sandar Ruvani, right? Not Sanduni. Right. What's your answer?
Data system also influence to the business activity as examples. Health and safety laws, employment laws, like that.
Yeah, as an example, a food manufacturing company, no, a food and beverage company should comply with these, getting OHS 18, then GMP certifications, ISO, no, to deal with that. Yeah, all these are practical, with practical explanations. Right. 162. What's your name? Afras. Not Safras, name? Afras. Right. What's your learning point? by effective data. Means it emphasizes the scientific jobs and management practices, which improves efficiency, the productivity of the labors, like standardized methods, the job trainings, providing wages for increased output. Right. These are the key principles in scientific management. Still, those are applied, no? Right. 005. What's your name? Samaradunga. Surname. Right. What's your learning point?
Organization should provide better quality. There are some principles: teaching management, marketing, and customer focus, process improvement and supply relation matters also.
Similar things were explained, no? Right. There's a professor called Ramani Samaradunga, Monash University. She's a relative of you, no? No, you are not known. Right, 018. Yeah, what's your name? Patna. Right. What's your learning point?
The major process is the really great from the manufacturing company, company raw material importer. But now in this more restriction to import from some items, and they can't send the payments out through bank.
Because of what? Then central bank has introduced some rules, procedures to minimize them. Yeah. Yeah, this is the way I think some violations happen, no? Right. But people like using informal methods, procedures. Right. Yeah, 046. Absent. What's your name? Jaya Vikrama. It says Jaya Vikrama. What's your answer?
Theory of quality management. Quality management is the process of applying zero defect theory to the management of all resources and relationship with.
Yeah, Philip Crosby only introduced those things, no? Companies should achieve zero defects, but practically they cannot achieve that, no? They can stay around that, but 100% they can't minimize, no? They can eradicate defects. But these can be guidelines, targets even to work positively. Right. But there are some companies, achieving that even, zero defects. It depends on the nature of the product. For some products, it cannot be, zero defect cannot be achieved, 042. Is it available? No. Absent, no. 012. Also absent. 007. What's your name? Piris. Right, what's your answer?
Focus which are effective towards the organizations current in recent periods COVID-19 tsunami and those economists in the target organizations various situations within the evolution of management thinking. They use online platforms and virtual like those things to
survive and grow within these situations.
Okay. From where are you? Calcutta. Right. Next one, 002. What's your name?
Francisco.
Francisco. Right. The Portugal name, Francisco. Right.
I wish to address the humanistic perspective under the early historical trends. Early historical trends mainly focus on the division of labor and the hierarchy of the authority. The humanistic perspective mainly focus on the importance of the human behavior, where it gives the XY theory and all. It explains that the negative employers must be commanded and the positive one be control through the democratic leadership.
Yeah. That's the role of XY theory, no?
Yes.
It still gives the basis, employees and managers to work, no, and make decisions about human behavior, worker behavior, and leadership style. Right. 02828. What's your name? Tushanti. Tushani. There's a lecturer as Tushan in UCS, Columbus School of Computing. Right. What's your answer?
Perspective have three elements: operation research, operation management, and information.
Yeah, you highlighted them, identified them all, right? 032, 32. What's your name? Sorry?
Thousand.
Kaushan.
Thousand.
Kaushan.
Thousand.
Fauzan. Right. Sir. The nuanced name. Right. What's your answer?
So I'm talking about the technology-driven workplace under recent historical trend.
Yeah.
There are three main techniques: customer relationship, supply chain management, and outsourcing. So under customer relationship, we are using advanced IT platforms to give enhanced customer service to the customers and to maintain large number of customer base. And under outsourcing, that means we are outsourcing one or more of our tasks inside the company to external party. So objective of that outsourcing is to obtain the cost efficiency, and some of the outsourced parties are specialized in some areas. So we
expertise. Yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing your own experience, real life experience. Right, then one physical member is remaining, if I am correct, correctly written, 017. 017, absent. Right, then we will give the chance to online members, then all occupied. What's your number? You came started today.
Yes.
009. Yeah. What's your name? Not the popular furniture manufacturer, Surya. No. Yeah, you don't have that business, right? Okay, what's your answer?
Management.
Yeah.
Mainly focuses on improving the products, services, and processes continuously in an organization through the involvement of the entire organization. If all employees of all levels of the organization concentrate on enhancing the quality, that will ultimately result in a good performance. And this mainly involves leadership, then customer focus, employee involvement, and benchmarking as well.
Mere quality is different from total quality. Quality is a technique or buzzword, but TQM or total quality is a practice, no philosophy. Right. The most Sri Lankan organizations now think of total quality, no, not mere quality. They have been considering quality maintenance is enough. It is a broader thing, philosophy. Right, then all are you? What's your name?
Yeah, see.
First day. This is the first day. I have to use another page. Oh, okay. 005?
053.
5353. What's the name?
Yasin, YHWA.
Yasim.
Yasin, N.
What's the answer?
Talking about the external forces that influence the organization, like the political forces and the economical forces, the social and the legal and the technological forces. And also we learned about the early historical trends like the scientific management and also the theoretical organization. And speaking about the administrative principles, we have learned 14 Henry Foils. Even though the time changed, she still practice those practices.
Okay.
The 14 principles.
Right. Then all occupied, no? Here. No. There are more members, then I have to use another page. Right. What's your number?
003.
003. Taranga. And first day absent, no? Second day present. Right. Then what's the answer? Learning point? Yeah.
Since avoided rating address complicated managerial problems. The previous several previous. First one is operating researchers, operational management and information technologies. An example is basic analytics, forecasting.
Yeah. Those are the disciplines, no? Key disciplines we can consider under this perspective, no? QT. But they are evolving. No? Techniques are also evolving, no? With the new methods, new applications. Right, then the others. Your number? 178. The name? Dinushika. It appears here, no? Dinushika. Or any surname? Palle? That should be told. Right, what's your answer?
Process economic process. Economic shows the factors such as monetary and fiscal policies, interest rate, government inflation rate, and all of these have direct effect how the business produce and direct and distribute them for products. As example, because of the inflation, global inflation.
Cost of living has gone up. Cost of living of people has gone up. Then there's a less demand for the products or services, no? Right? Then they have to, managers should find what is called options, alternatives to face these situations, as they have to reduce cost, right? Then they have to limit the supplies, right? They have to do innovations, new innovations. Right, next number?
054.
054. 50. No, 54. 54. Right. What's your name? Innadu, right. What you learned today?
Supply chain management.
Yes.
The sequence of suppliers and prices that we the covering of all stages of processing from obtain raw materials to distribute the finished goods and to customers.
Yeah, it now happens as a global supply chain, right? Chinese organizations are getting more advantages from this Chinese and Indian companies also. Right. Any remaining? Yeah. What's your number?
186.
186.
Yes.
What's your name?
Aravind.
Aravind. Right, what's your answer?
Talking about the technology-driven workplace, so there are three techniques actually identified. One is customer relationship management, outsourcing, and supply chain management. So due to the current climate case, the current context, so everything moves towards the technology, specifically like artificial intelligence. So companies to survive in the market, so they need to adapt to the current context and move forward.
Yeah, they should use data analytics to find new ways, no? New ways of. Yeah. Right, one also up the hands. Yeah, you. What's your number?
035.
035. 35. Name?
Islam.
Rislan. Right. What's your learning point?
Science technique management.
Yeah.
And determine the open management to improve the efficiency and productivity.
Yeah, it was the main focus of scientific management, no?
While the age incentives and
Yeah.
increase outputs.
These are other features. Main focus was to increase the efficiency, worker productivity or efficiency.
To improve the performance of jobs.
Right.
The method to improve the employee's ability.
Okay. Then any others? You said no? No. What's your number? 040. Name? Giman. It was here, no? In the list. Wait. You are absent on the.
Join.
But you didn't answer. No? Right. Anyhow, you are absent, no?
Yeah.
Right. Now from today you will continue. Right. Okay. What's your answer?
Let's talk about economic losses. But in the current situation, there are songs restricted bank imposed by the government, central bank and government, inflation, interest rate, and taxes, and import mandate have been imposed under the current situation, and the business have to achieve their goals. However, how they managed with the limited staff resources, how they managed to achieve their business activities.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you all occupied, no? Right. Then we will turn up to online members. Then 013. Are you here? 013. If so, please tell your surname also. For you to write down.
Yes, sir, I'm Pereira.
Pereira, no?
Yes.
Right. What's your answer for today's lesson? Based on the today's lesson, what's your learning point?
Under recent historical trends, we can learn the technology-driven workplace. There is three techniques: customer relationship management, outsourcing, and supply chain management. I'm going to highlight about outsourcing. It means contracting our selected functions or activities to other organization, which we can do work more cost efficiently. And supply chain management also refers to managing the sequence of supplies and purchase. And customer relationship management, CRM systems, use the latest IT to keep close touch with customers.
Right. For you, online mode is more comfortable, no? It seems that you communicated properly, loudly, right? Person to person, no? The things are techniques differ. Right. Okay, thanks. Right. Then 037. Are you there? 037. Via online. Is this absent today? No responses, ne? Should be absent. I'll put a dot. Then 019, 19.
There are 4 significant elements of quality management: employee involvement, customer focus, benchmarking, and continuous improvement.
Right. What's your name?
Dilipa Chandrakanti.
How your name appears in the list?
Chandrakanti.
Chandrakanti. 1019, no?
Yes.
Okay, then next one 034. Are you here? Available? 034. Is this absent? Is also absent? By online? No responses, ne? Right, next one 022.
Yes, sir, I am Janaka Tennakon.
Tennakon, ne? Right, wait. Right, what's the answer?
So I want to highlight regarding Sri Lanka prevailing situation about economic resources and staff turnover. Because of current situation, our entrepreneurs, they cannot import their raw materials and finished goods because government already imposed regulations, especially bank, they said they cannot open even LC. In this situation, our entrepreneurs will discourage as well as our local entrepreneurs because of interest rate hike. They cannot even apply a loan from the bank. So in this situation, our business, we cannot develop.
Even you can't ensure the survival.
Yeah. And the second point regarding the staff turnover, I noticed that many of young generation, they are looking for overseas, they are trying to migrate to overseas countries because of the current situation. So especially young generation is the spirit of our economy. So this is also an impact to our economy. That's what my point.
Yeah, in future, the local businesses will face that knowledge vacuum. Yeah.
Because knowledge is the power.
Therefore, as managers now, you have to, come up with solutions, no, to address these issues. With that, without waiting, allow them to leave, and people, even the existing people to idle. Then you have to, think out of the box.
Yes, sir.
Out of these theories, no? Right.
Yes.
Right, okay. That is then upon, no? Then 103 is another number, ne? 103, 103. It is also absent. No responses, ne? Right, then any other remaining via online to answer today?
So my number is 37, sir, Sandar one.
Right. I called upon you, but by the time you were not there, no? You didn't hear. Sandar one, ne?
Yeah, correct, sir.
What's your answer?
So basically, I want to highlight that issues in the scientific management because it was mainly focused on that efficiency, not in the effectiveness. Because in the scientific management, mainly they focused on that to improve that performance of the each job. Basically, they trained all the employees to do the work done, but they didn't focus on mainly that effectiveness of that job they are getting from the employees.
Right. Therefore, in a similar way, managers now, current managers should not think of their people, no?
Correct, sir. Yeah.
Okay, any others remaining?
Sir, my number is 17.
017.
Yes.
What's your name?
Vikramanayaka.
What's your answer?
I want to talk about the quantitative management science perspectives in early historical trends. There are three perspectives: operational research, operational management, and information technology. Where information technology is the most efficient technique which is using even in the current perspective. Through the management information systems, it is helpful in organization in terms of managing the resources, estimating the cost, project planning, and so many areas.
Okay. Any others to participate? Via online, any others remaining? No, all took part, isn't that? Yeah, then shall we have the head count? $30, no? There's a steady improvement. In the today's, earlier we had 27, no? Today 30. Right. That is okay. I need not to cross check with the attendance, then we can't see the online. I think all occupied, no? Right, then time is exactly 12, almost 12, né? Right. Till 12 we could proceed, né? Right. Then okay, I think everybody I think took part in this quiz for the second day. I gave some review questions. No time to do a case study, but better after doing some lessons only we can easily study a case, no big case, right? Right. Then we will do that a little later, depending on the time, right? Now then I will close down the setup. Okay, then thanks and goodbye. Then in this manner, we will do other lessons also. Time. Then make sure you are finding, identifying your team properly by the next week. Yeah, use the WhatsApp communication to complete that. Even now, as I mentioned, personally, you can think of the same information you gathered already personally can be used for the team. That is also possible, right? But better to know your team, even by the next week. Okay, then I'll keep that. You have another class after the lunch, right?